Hello, welcome to our review of the Sager NP5125. It's a new 15.6-inch laptop from Sager. This particular model is configured with an i7-620M, 8 gigs of RAM, 80 gig Intel SSD. This will be the first model that's available with Optimus technology that also has a full 1080p screen available. Standard screen is a regular HD. Have an option of putting the high definition full iDef in there. This also will be the first model with Optimus that has the ability to completely shut off your Optimus technology altogether and turn off your dedicated graphics card. The card that's in this model is the GT330M, and we'll get into a little of that later here, but we're just going to take a quick look at the computer and how it looks. The machine itself is a hard plastic. It looks kind of like a brushed aluminum finish. It is not glossy at all, except around the edges of the bezel of the screen. Back panel here is kind of a gunmetal-y, rough to texture back panel. Once again, it is matte. It does look kind of plain, but it's kind of nice. It does have a chiclet keyboard, as you can see, and standard normal fingerprint reader here and normal touchpad. It is not multi-touch as some of the Asus machines have seen. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and go over some of the ports that we have on this laptop, which actually is quite full of them for its price point. As you can see, we're on the back panel here. Battery is in place. We've got our power plug here. And as we make our way to the left side, we do have a standard Kensington lock. And as we rotate here to the right, it's where our CD tray is. And then we've got what looks like where a modem could have gone, or maybe still can go. It is plugged over with a big thick rubber plug. We have a USB there, and as far as our three little ports here, we do have one SPDIF, which is the first one there, which is our digital output. We've got our mic input, analog mic, and then an analog headphone jack. We swing around to the front here. We really don't have a whole lot for ports. The speakers are on the front here. They're going to be underneath, so we've got one here, and then one also here. Indicator lights here. We've got scroll lock, number lock, and caps lock. And then this lets us know here that we've got a battery plugged in, and that little guy there lets us know that we're charging. When we swing over to our left here, another nice new feature of this model, as you can probably see by the blue little USB port there, is this one does also have a USB 3.0 port, which is new up-and-coming ports. It is very nice, 10 times faster than your normal USB. We do have eSATA here as well, which is another nice feature in this price point. Two USBs, an HDMI digital output. We've got Ethernet here, of course, and then our standard VGA. Okay, next thing we're going to go over here on the Sager NP5125 is the keyboard, some of the buttons, and the indication lights on the keyboard here. As I mentioned before, this one is very unique in its Optimus technology. This particular model has the ability not only to have Optimus technology and switch between your dedicated and integrated graphics, but it also has a button that, unlike other machines that have Optimus, allow you to literally turn it off and not allow the GPU to kick on. Normally you don't have that option. You're just stuck with whatever the computer's software says you need. In this case, the indication lights here, this one that's right there, lets us know that we're using the integrated graphics card. When they match here, that means that Optimus will never kick on and switch over to the dedicated GT330. If I kick it back on and that switches to orange, you'll see the other indication light kick on and let us know, hey, we've just kicked on our graphics card capabilities. When you actually switch over and use something that's graphics related, like we'll kick on 3D Mark here really fast, and we'll see that it kicks on when it needs it and doesn't when it doesn't need it, and it's just sitting idle. It doesn't actually need to use the dedicated card. Any sort of video editing, maybe some photo editing if it's needed when it's rendering, and of course games and HD video will kick on and give you the better performance. As we start it up here, you'll just see that indication light kick over. Looks like a little turbo thing. And there we go. We know that we're running dedicated graphics now, using up more battery life, and it's just a very unique way. We haven't ever seen it done like this with indication lights before, and it's not only handy but very a nice thing to have indication. We'll go ahead and turn that off. We'll kick ourselves back to green. Lets us know we're not using a dedicated card anymore. And we'll close out a 3D mark. The next, as we move over to the right, the next one is actually a Bluetooth indication light. It just lets us know when our Bluetooth adapter is turned on. And as we get over to the right even more, we've got our light there that just lets us know our hard drive is activating, and that's kind of a bright white LED. Move over to our right here. We'll see we've got a couple more buttons up there. We actually have a dedicated Wi-Fi button as well as a function key. Function F12 will also kick it on and off, but so will that hard button there. You've got a mute button and a web camera button up there at the top, and of course our power button that's bright white. We'd like to talk about a couple things on the keyboard. Keyboard itself is very strong. It has very little flex, if any at all, that I've been able to notice. Overall chassis itself is also really solid chassis. Just for this price point, it seems like they definitely took a lot of extra care into creating a very strong computer. As you can see here, the keyboard is chiclet style, which gives some nice spacing in between the keys. They did put, or tried to squeeze in, a 10-key keypad. It is only a 3-row, as you can see, instead of a 4, which limits them a little bit on some of the places where they can put buttons. As you can see, the delete key also doubles as a function number lock, which was kind of a surprise to me. And of course, as we'll see here, our enter key, a little disappointing there that it's so small and quite hard to hit with either the thumb or the pinky finger you normally would. Just a little bit more squeezed. Your up, down, left, right keys squeezed into the 10-key keypad, but that's not new. We've seen computer manufacturers do that before. Overall, we'll just get a quick look here at the keypad. And control and function keys in their normal spots. Everything over here on the left is as expected. Our right shift key, a little bit smaller than maybe we would like. Beyond that, the keyboard's pretty nice. We'll just get a quick run here over the function keys so you can kind of see a little bit more. Excuse me, guys. A little bit more on what they are here. You've got the ability to turn your touchpad off. Your normal functions: volume, screen brightness, another mute apparently. Photos, another Wi-Fi, another Bluetooth. Otherwise pretty standard. We'll sneak down here to our touchpad here. And one of the things that you'll notice obviously is we do have a full Biometrics fingerprint reader here. Pretty unique for this price point. The machine itself starts at $799, gets configured up to there, but you can have OS, dual core processor, 4 gigs of RAM. I mean, 7200 RPM hard drive, all configured with an HD screen under $1,000. There aren't a lot of other computers out there that have that same amount of power they can offer in this price, so it really is outstanding. Nothing too notable about this touchpad. It's pretty normal. It feels nice, and it's very responsive, but it doesn't have any of the multi-touch features that some of the other laptops that have come out recently have. Which may or may not be a disappointment to you. You may never use those things. We do have scroll up and down here that is hidden within the keypad. Other than that, pretty normal touchpad. Besides the very responsive feel to it.